Hello and welcome to this review of my Cherry G80-2100 HDD. I got it in trade for a G80-3000 with double shot keycaps, just like this one, but the way I see it, I'm way up on this deal because I get a whole another board full of double shot keycaps in return, except this one is bigger and therefore better. It is German layout, which is slightly unfortunate, but if I wanted to, I could always swap some UK keys onto it. Still, I usually like to keep my keyboards original. I did swap the Y and Z keys around though, because on German boards it's normally QWERTZ, but that's a little bit too weird for me. It's in pretty good condition as well, used but quite clean. The numpad 6 key originally didn't work properly, so I replaced it with a working switch, but other than that, it's absolutely fine. This keyboard is the Cherry battlecruiser. Many manufacturers made special keyboards like this with extra features, and this is Cherry's attempt at it. Last week we looked at another Cherry specialty keyboard, the 8303. Click the link to check out that video now if you haven't seen it yet. The 8303 was a good idea, but it was executed rather badly. The battlecruiser is older and has its own little quirks, but it's still better. Here's why. First of all, like the 8303, this keyboard comes with as many as 24 PF keys, programmable function keys that you can use to store macros, which is very useful. A great feature that I definitely recommend because it's the tits. Anyway, also like the 8303, it comes with 10 layers for the PF keys, so in total you can have 240 programmable function keys, which equates to well over 2 full-sized keyboards worth of keys. It's basically macro heaven. The way you program the keys is as follows. You press this Cherry key. Yes, it has an actual Cherry key on it. And then the LED will light. And then you press the PF key you want to program. Let's say PF1. The macro you want to input, for example, POOP. Then the Cherry key again. And you're done. Simple, straightforward, effective. It doesn't have the weird num lock problem that the 8303 has, it's just exactly what it needs to be. But again, there is a problem with it, unfortunately, and Cherry has really kind of dropped the ball with it. See, originally the Cherry key was here with the PF cluster, but later revisions of this keyboard, including this one, which is from 1997 by the way, had the Cherry key added near the nav cluster instead. And that's a bit of a problem because you can easily accidentally press the Cherry key, and when it's in programming mode you can't use the keyboard normally until you untoggle it. But worse is that while gaming I sometimes got this, the Cherry light flashing. This happened quite frequently and I had no idea what was causing it. I assumed I just pressed the Cherry key and then something it didn't like causing an error or something. But I didn't know what it was and I couldn't untoggle it. See, you can press the Cherry key all you want, it doesn't do anything. So I had to unplug the keyboard and reconnect it every time that happened, which is quite frustrating. So I looked it up on the internet and as it turns out it's the layer key that does that, see? But weirdly you can't untoggle it. You have to select a layer with one of the PF keys, like that, before it goes out. A bit of a stupid flaw really. None of this would have been an issue if they just left these keys where they were originally near the PF cluster, and then none of this would have been a problem. I don't get it. Cherry did obviously realize that this might be a problem, so on many models these two keys use Cherry MX Super Black switches, which are like Cherry MX Black except stiffer, so it's harder to make a mistake. But in this one they're just normal MX Black, just like the rest of the keyboard, so you can't feel the difference. The PF keys are also non-standard. Instead of MX Black, they're MX Clear. Although because you don't really type on PF keys like normal, the difference isn't that obvious. The rest of the keyboard, like I said, are all MX Black, which is not a great switch at all. In fact, it's pretty shit. It's one of the worst linear switches I know. But in all fairness, it's divine compared to the MY switches in the 8303 I showed last week. Those are damn close to rock bottom, I tell you. So in terms of switches, it's pretty crap, but the MX Blacks have one advantage at least. They're relatively silent, especially with these thick keycaps. This is important because macros are potentially very useful for everyone, but they're especially useful in offices, where the noise of a better switch like MX Blue would be considered very disruptive, probably. And then there's the construction quality of the keyboard, and unfortunately it's what you'd expect of a Cherry product. It's light, hollow, flimsy, and clamped, not held together by screws at all. The clips are a bit of a pain in the ass to undo, and they don't provide the same strength as screws do. Also, there's a fair amount of flex in the keyboard, which really isn't a good sign. The switches for the PF keys are mounted in a plastic plate, but the rest of the keys are just PCB mount, like most Cherry keyboards. In short, it's not built very well at all. But in its defense, it does have Cherry's non-slip flip-out rubber feet, which I've always found a nice feature. The cable is long, thick and coiled, providing ample length. And as a bonus, this keyboard has NK rollover, which is always nice. It also has 2 dip switches at the back, but I have no idea what they do, so I just leave them where they are. The keycaps are Cherry's thick double-shot ABS ones, which are absolutely excellent. They have sharp, bold lettering that never wears off, and the thickness makes the switches sound nice and bassy and keeps the noise down. The PF keycaps are quite special too. Like on the 8303, they're relegible, although these ones still have the little plastic window clips on them. But unlike the 8303 keycaps, these also have the default legends printed on the keycap top, so you don't have to put legends in order to see which key is which. The 8303 doesn't have that. All the PF keycaps are blank, so you don't know if this is PF1 or if that's PF1, and how it goes from there, etc. In short, the keycaps on this keyboard are definitely really nice, one of the better features of the board for sure. Overall, this keyboard is actually really nice. The construction is flimsy as only Cherries can be, and the switches aren't great, but it's fairly silent at least, still has N-key rollover, outstanding keycaps, and the programmability function is one of the best I've seen to date. It's definitely miles better than the 8303 from last week, and honestly, I wouldn't mind using this as an office board at all. It's very useful. That's it for this review. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And following is a typing demonstration of me typing on this keyboard.